You're not here just to survive. You're here to live fully, intentionally, and with purpose. But here's the harsh truth. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to wake you up with fire in your soul, hand you a blueprint and say, here's the path to your best life. That responsibility is yours. And it starts not with big, dramatic changes, but with small, powerful things you must do daily, things that build you, protect your energy, sharpen your mind, and feed your soul. If you want to stop feeling stuck, if you're tired of the same cycle of stress, doubt, and emptiness, then pay attention. These 12 daily actions are the foundation for transforming your life from the inside out. Most people wake up and fall into the trap of reacting. The alarm goes off, and before they've even taken their first breath of the day, they reach for their phone. Notifications, emails, social media, news, they're immediately pulled into a world that demands something from them. The day hasn't even started, and already their peace has been hijacked by the noise of the outside world. This is how the majority of people live. They start their days in reaction mode, responding to whatever shows up first, instead of taking a few intentional minutes to direct their own energy, thoughts, and mindset. What they fail to understand is that the first moments of your day shape the entire tone of everything that follows. If you start rushed, scattered, or stressed, that state follows you into every interaction, every task, every decision. The most successful, self-awareness, and powerful people in the world know this. They understand that the way you begin is everything. That's why they protect their mornings like sacred ground. They don't leave it up to chance. They don't let the outside world enter until they've connected with themselves first. They wake up with intention, not perfection, not pressure, but intention. That means before touching their phone, before diving into the chaos of responsibilities, they pause. They breathe. They set a tone for the day. That moment of silence, that reflection, that intentional breath, it's not small. It's the beginning of ownership. It's a quiet declaration that says, I run this day. The day doesn't run me. Setting intention doesn't require a complex routine. You don't need a 2-hour morning ritual or expensive tools. It's about clarity. It's about choice. You might wake up and speak an affirmation, today I will lead with peace, or I will focus on what matters. You might sit quietly and visualize how you want the day to unfold. You might reflect on a goal you're moving toward or a value you want to embody. These are simple practices, but they carry immense power. Why? Because they put you back in control. Instead of stepping into the current of chaos, you become the one who decides where your energy will go. When you wake up without intention, you hand your power to everything around you. Every distraction, every message, every voice louder than your own starts pulling you in different directions. That's how people end up feeling lost by 10 a.m., wondering why they're so tired or irritable, or why the day already feels like it's slipping away. But when you take just a few minutes to connect with your purpose, when you set even a single clear intention for how you want to move through the day, you become rooted, you become steady, you create a kind of inner compass that helps you navigate whatever comes your way. The meetings, the emails, the conversations, the triggers, they still come, but you meet them with clarity instead of chaos. This doesn't mean your day will be perfect, but it does mean that you will be present. It means that you won't be living on autopilot, controlled by other people's demands and expectations. You'll be living awake, aware, and aligned with what actually matters to you. And that state, that intentional way of beginning, isn't just about productivity or efficiency. It's about self-respect. It's about honoring your life enough to lead it on your own terms, even in the smallest way. Because how you start the day isn't just a routine, it's a decision about who you're choosing to be. Your mind is a garden, and what you plant in it daily determines what grows. Every single day, from the moment you wake up until the moment you sleep, your mind is absorbing information. It's either absorbing noise or truth, chaos or clarity, distraction or direction. Most people don't realize how much junk they're feeding their minds. They scroll through social media, listen to gossip, watch sensational news, consume negativity, and then wonder why they feel anxious, lost, or unmotivated. The truth is, What you put into your mind becomes your thoughts, and your thoughts become your beliefs. Your beliefs then shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. So if your input is garbage, your output will reflect that. The world is loud. Everywhere you turn, someone is trying to sell you an opinion, a fear, a crisis, a comparison. And if you're not intentional, all that noise starts to live inside your head. You begin to question your worth. You start comparing your life to others. You get pulled into distractions that have nothing to do with your purpose. The problem isn't that there's too much information. The problem is that people are consuming information that's not aligned with who they want to become. And the more of it they consume, the more disconnected they feel from their own power. But when you begin to feed your mind with truth, real, uplifting, soul-nourishing truth, something shifts. You feel it. You start your day with an empowering book instead of a social media feed. You listen to a podcast that challenges your thinking instead of turning on noise that numbs your mind. You watch a video that reminds you of your strength instead of one that fills you with fear. And slowly you begin to reclaim your mental space. You stop letting the world define who you are, and you begin to define it for yourself. You start seeing possibilities where before you saw problems. You start thinking thoughts that align with growth, confidence, purpose. Feeding your mind with truth doesn't require hours of effort. It's the little moments, the small shifts. Reading one chapter of a powerful book in the morning can change your whole attitude. Listening to 10 minutes of a motivational speaker on your way to work can rewire your focus. Choosing to reflect on a wise quote instead of arguing in your head about something meaningless can realign your spirit. The goal is not perfection, it's direction. Every time you choose truth over noise, you reinforce a mindset that serves you instead of sabotages you. Most people treat their mental diet with less care than their physical one. They worry about what food they eat, but not what thoughts they feed their brain. But your mental diet is far more important because your body follows your mind. If your thoughts are polluted, your life will reflect that pollution. But if your mind is filled with strength, peace, clarity, and purpose, your life will begin to move in alignment with those values. The people who transform their lives don't do it by chance. They do it by choice. They choose what enters their mind. They curate their mental space like a sacred temple. They surround themselves with words, ideas, and voices that lift them higher. And over time, they become unshakable. Not because life gets easier, but because their mindset gets stronger. When you feed your mind with truth every single day, you begin to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. You begin to see yourself not just as you are, but as you were always meant to be. Your body is the vehicle through which your mind expresses its power, and yet so many people neglect it, treating movement like a chore instead of a privilege. They sit for hours, hunched over screens, drained and disconnected, unaware of how stagnant energy becomes stored, frustration. The truth is, your body was designed to move, to release, to reset. Movement isn't just about fitness or appearance. It's about mastery over your state. It's about telling your brain, I'm alive. I'm in control. I am choosing momentum today. When you move your body with purpose, even for a few minutes each day, you are rewiring your mindset to align with strength, discipline, and clarity. So it doesn't matter what form the movement takes. You don't need a gym membership or the perfect routine. What matters is that you show up. You stretch with intention. You walk with presence. You lift, run, breathe, jump, or even dance. Anything that reminds your system that you are not stuck, you are not weak, and you are not a victim of your emotions. You are the one choosing how your body responds to stress, to anxiety, to laziness. When you engage your body, your mind follows. Science backs this. Movement releases endorphins. It resets your nervous system. It lowers stress. It sharpens focus. But beyond science is something deeper. Movement reconnects you to your fire. Every time you move your body, you reinforce a message to your subconscious that you are capable, that you are not letting life happen to you, you are happening to life. People wait for motivation to show up before they act, but movement creates motivation. You may not feel like doing anything in the morning, but if you push yourself to do just a few squats, a short jog, a simple routine, your energy shifts. Suddenly, your mind feels clearer, your emotions feel lighter, you feel more prepared to handle the day, not because the world has changed, but because you have. The power of movement is that it builds momentum in other areas. The discipline it takes to move your body carries over into your work, your relationships, your focus, and your confidence. If you can get up and move when you feel like staying still, you are building resilience. You are training yourself to follow through, regardless of how you feel. And that habit, practiced daily, becomes a core part of your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's stuck, overwhelmed, or too tired. You start seeing yourself as someone who gets up no matter what, someone who acts, someone who moves forward. This is not about punishment or perfection. It's not about chasing an unrealistic image. It's about honoring the body you've been given by using it with gratitude and purpose. It's about understanding that your body holds energy, and the way to release the negative energy is through movement. So when stress builds, move. When fear creeps in, move. When doubt whispers in your ear, move. Movement is your reset button. It shifts your perspective, elevates your energy, and reminds you of your strength. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life don't happen during deep thought or long conversations. They happen during a walk in silence, during a hard run, or in the middle of a simple workout when your mind goes quiet and something inside of you clicks. That's the gift of moving your body with purpose. It's not just about the muscles you build, it's about the strength you awaken inside yourself. When you choose to move, especially when you don't feel like it, you're telling yourself that you are not your excuses, you are your choices. The way you speak to yourself every day determines the quality of your life. Most people walk around with a voice in their head that constantly criticizes, doubts, and tears them down. They repeat things to themselves they would never say to another human being, and yet they accept it as truth. That voice tells them they're not enough, that they'll fail, that they don't deserve happiness or success. Over time, those repeated thoughts form deep-rooted beliefs. And those beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. You become what you constantly tell yourself. If the voice in your head is destructive, your life will feel like a battle. But if the voice in your head is powerful, encouraging, and strong, your life begins to reflect that inner strength. You don't need the world to believe in you if you learn to believe in yourself. You don't need constant validation when your own voice is one of confidence. Speaking to yourself with power isn't about arrogance or false positivity. It's about reprogramming years of mental conditioning that made you shrink, doubt, or play small. Every day you have an opportunity to interrupt that negative pattern and choose new language. You can look in the mirror and affirm your worth. You can catch yourself in a moment of self-judgment and flip the script. Instead of saying, I always mess things up, you can say, I'm learning and I'm improving every day. Instead of, I'm not smart enough for this, you say, I have everything I need to figure this out. These changes may seem small, but over time they shift your identity. Your internal dialogue creates your internal environment. It affects how you carry yourself, how you respond to challenges, how you handle setbacks, and how you pursue your goals. When you speak powerfully to yourself, your energy changes. You stop walking into rooms apologetically. You stop lowering your standards or seeking approval. You begin to act from a place of certainty, grounded in your own truth. That doesn't mean you never feel fear or insecurity. It means you no longer let those emotions define your decisions. You acknowledge them, then you speak strength over them. You take control of your narrative. This power of self-talk is especially important in moments of adversity. When things go wrong, most people spiral into self-blame or despair. But the person who knows how to speak power into themselves will pause and choose a different message. They'll say, this is tough, but I've faced worse and come through stronger. They'll remind themselves, I have a choice in how I respond. They'll declare, I refuse to let this break me. That language isn't just comfort, it's strategy. It's how you rise when life tries to knock you down. It's how you stay focused when everything around you is chaotic. The mind responds to repetition. If you tell it something long enough, it starts to believe it. That's why it's not enough to say something positive once and hope it sticks. You have to commit to speaking truth to yourself every single day. Say it when you wake up. Say it before a big challenge. Say it when you're alone and no one's watching. Those moments shape your character more than anything external ever could. You're not just speaking to feel good. You're building a new identity, one that doesn't crumble under pressure, one that doesn't give up after a failure, one that refuses to shrink in the face of fear. There will always be voices around you, doubt, criticism, noise. But the loudest, most consistent voice in your life will always be your own. Make sure it's a voice that builds you, not one that breaks you. Speak to yourself with the strength, grace, and fire you deserve. Speak to yourself like someone who matters, because you do. Your environment is a mirror of your mind, and the space you live in affects how you think, feel, and show up in the world. When your surroundings are cluttered, chaotic, and filled with things that drain your energy, your mental state begins to reflect that same disarray. It becomes harder to focus, to feel motivated, or to find peace when you're surrounded by distractions and mess. Most people underestimate how much their environment shapes their mood and mindset. They try to make big life changes without realizing the daily influence of the space they're living in. But when you begin to clean, organize, and simplify your space with intention, something inside you begins to shift. You feel lighter, you feel in control. You begin to think more clearly, act with more purpose, and move through your day with less resistance. It's not about creating a perfect space, it's about creating a supportive one, a space that reminds you of who you are and where you're headed, a space that inspires action instead of anxiety. That might mean cleaning your desk before you start your day so you don't feel overwhelmed by unfinished tasks. It might mean organizing your closet to eliminate decision fatigue and help you start the morning with clarity. It could be as simple as making your bed every morning, not because it's a chore, but because it's a declaration that your day matters and you're taking control from the very beginning. These small acts of order create a ripple effect. They signal to your brain that you are someone who values discipline, focus, and care. They reinforce the identity of a person who doesn't tolerate chaos, not just around them, but within them. When you simplify your surroundings, you eliminate the distractions that compete for your energy. Every item in your space is either adding to your energy or draining it. The pile of unopened mail, the broken drawer you keep ignoring, the clothes you never wear but still keep. All of it is noise, and every time your eyes catch that noise, your brain registers it as something undone, something unresolved. That mental clutter accumulates and robs you of clarity. But when you take a few minutes each day to clean, to sort, to throw away what no longer serves you, you begin to reclaim your attention. You begin to move with more calm, more intention, and more control over your energy. This practice of simplifying and organizing also helps you let go, not just of physical things, but of mental and emotional baggage. Sometimes cleaning your space is symbolic. You're not just dusting shelves or putting things in drawers. You're creating closure. You're letting go of the past version of yourself who lived in chaos. You're saying goodbye to the habits that no longer align with your vision. And with each item you toss, each corner you clean, you're creating space, not just in your room, but in your mind. Space for new thoughts, new habits, new energy. You don't need to do it all at once. This isn't about a one-time deep clean. It's about daily alignment. 5 minutes to straighten up, 10 minutes to clear your workspace, a conscious decision to keep only what supports your growth and remove what distracts from it. This consistency becomes a form of self-respect. It shows that you care enough about your goals to create a space where they can thrive, because your dreams deserve room to grow. And the simplest way to make room is by removing the things that no longer belong. Clean space doesn't just look better, it feels better. It invites better thoughts, it creates momentum, it reminds you that you're not powerless to your environment, you are the creator of it. And when you begin to create with clarity, everything else begins to align. You move through life lighter, faster, more focused because your surroundings are no longer working against you, they're finally working for you. Your life becomes a reflection of the information you consume. And in a world where noise is constant and distractions are endless, what you choose to feed your mind with each day is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Most people spend hours scrolling through social media, watching mindless content, or absorbing negativity from the news without realizing that this daily diet of input becomes the foundation for their thoughts, beliefs, and emotion. If you want to think better, live better, and grow into your highest potential, you must be intentional about learning something every single day. Learning is not just about education, it's about elevation. It's how you evolve beyond your current limitations, how you challenge old beliefs, and how you stay mentally sharp and emotionally prepared for anything life throws your way. You don't need to enroll in a course or have hours of free time. Learning can be simple, practical, and even enjoyable if you shift your mindset. It can be listening to a podcast while driving, reading 10 pages of a powerful book before bed, or watching an insightful video instead of endless entertainment. The goal is not to consume information for the sake of it, but to gain wisdom, knowledge that transforms you. Every day you learn something new. You expand your awareness. You start to see things differently. Problems that once felt overwhelming begin to look like puzzles you can solve. Conflicts that used to trigger you become opportunities to apply what you've learned. Your emotional intelligence increases, your decision-making improves, and your confidence grows because you're no longer reacting blindly, you're responding with understanding. Consistent learning builds mental resilience. It keeps your brain active and adaptive. Life is unpredictable, and the more tools, insights, and knowledge you carry, the more equipped you are to pivot when needed. Learning isn't just for students or professionals, it's for leaders, for creators, for anyone who wants to rise above mediocrity. When you learn daily, you stop being a passive participant in life. You become an active architect of your future. You begin to gather strategies, mindsets, and perspectives that others miss because they're too distracted or complacent. You give yourself an edge, not because you're better, but because you're more prepared. Learning also ignites your creativity. New ideas spark fresh thinking. One quote from a book can shift your entire week. One sentence from a mentor can unlock a new path. One lesson from history or psychology can help you understand yourself or someone else more deeply. When you expose yourself to ideas beyond your usual circle, your mind becomes more open, more flexible, and more curious. That curiosity leads to innovation, and innovation is the seed of transformation. You don't have to reinvent your life overnight, but you can start with a single idea that opens a door you never saw before. There's a discipline that comes with learning, and it reinforces other areas of your life. The commitment to show up every day, even for a few minutes, to grow, to stretch, to improve, sends a message to your subconscious that you are not settling. You are still reaching. You are still in the process of becoming. And that identity, the identity of a learner, becomes a superpower in a world full of people who have stopped trying. It gives you quiet confidence. It fuels your ambition. It grounds you in humility because no matter how much you know, you understand there is always more to learn. Every great leader, thinker, or achiever you admire has one thing in common. They never stopped learning. It was never about being the smartest in the room. It was about being the most committed to growth. When you commit to learning something new every day, you're not just collecting information, you're sharpening your mind, feeding your soul, and rising into a version of yourself that's ready for anything. Most people go through their day reacting to whatever comes their way, rushing through tasks, checking boxes, and simply trying to survive the chaos. But very few take the time to sit still and truly check in with themselves. Reflection is not a luxury or an occasional activity reserved for big decisions. It's a daily necessity if you want to grow with intention and live with clarity. When you create the habit of checking in with yourself every day, you give yourself the chance to process what you're feeling, understand what's working and what's not, and realign with your deeper goals. Without reflection, it's easy to lose track of your why. You begin living on autopilot, drifting further and further away from the life you actually want to build. But when you pause, even for 5 or 10 minutes, to reconnect with your inner world, you start making better decisions, setting stronger boundaries, and leading yourself with wisdom instead of impulse. This isn't about judging yourself or overanalyzing every thought. It's about creating space to observe what's happening inside you without distraction. Ask yourself simple but powerful questions. How do I feel right now? What thoughts have been running through my mind today? What energy have I been carrying? Am I aligned with what matters most to me? These questions may seem small, but they pull you back to the present moment. They make you conscious of your patterns and habits. And once you're conscious, you're no longer a victim to them. You can choose to shift. You can choose to let go of what's draining you and refocus on what's energizing you. That small window of self-awareness becomes the space where change is possible. Daily reflection also helps you track your growth. Sometimes we think we're stuck or not making progress, when in reality we're evolving in ways we can't see because we haven't taken time to look. By regularly checking in with yourself, you start noticing subtle shifts, aha moments where you responded with more patience, where you spoke up for yourself, where you pushed through discomfort instead of avoiding it. These small wins build momentum. They remind you that change is happening, even if it's slow. They give you reasons to keep going when your motivation dips. They help you celebrate progress instead of chasing perfection. There's also healing and reflection. We all carry emotional weight, disappointments, regrets, things we didn't say or things we wish we could undo. If we never take time to process those emotions, they stay stuck inside us, influencing our actions and draining our spirit. But when you create space to sit with those emotions, to feel them, to write about them, or even to speak them out loud, you begin to release their grip. You no longer carry them unconsciously. You start to understand your own heart more deeply, and from that understanding comes compassion, forgiveness, and freedom. In a world that constantly pushes you to go faster, to do more, to keep moving, reflection is an act of rebellion. It's a decision to slow down so you can move forward with purpose. It's a way to reclaim your attention, your energy, and your direction. Without it, you'll keep reacting. You'll keep repeating old cycles. You'll keep wondering why nothing feels different, even when everything around you changes. But with it, you gain clarity. You make decisions from a place of alignment. You catch yourself before you fall into patterns that no longer serve you. You become the kind of person who lives deliberately, not by default. Checking in with yourself doesn't require a journal, a special space, or a perfect routine. It just requires honesty and intention. Whether you do it in the morning before the world wakes up or at night when everything is quiet, the point is to be present with your own truth. The more often you do it, the more in tune you become with your needs, your boundaries, your dreams, and your emotional well-being. And when you're in tune with yourself, you become unshakable no matter what life throws your way. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources, and how you protect it determines the quality of your life, the clarity of your decisions, and the direction of your growth. Everyday people, situations, and distractions will try to pull at you, drain you, or derail your focus. And if you're not intentional about guarding your energy, you'll find yourself exhausted, irritable, and disconnected from your purpose. Protecting your energy isn't about being selfish or isolating yourself from the world. It's about honoring your inner space and refusing to let it be dictated by negativity, chaos, or noise that doesn't align with who you're becoming. It's about recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your attention, your thoughts, or your emotions, and it's completely okay to set boundaries that support your peace. The people you surround yourself with shape your energy more than you realize. Every conversation is an exchange. Some people leave you feeling lighter, more empowered, and more hopeful. Others leave you feeling heavy, depleted, or confused. You must learn to tell the difference and adjust accordingly. That doesn't mean cutting people off without compassion, but it does mean recognizing when someone's presence consistently disrupts your growth. It means allowing yourself to step back when someone's energy is toxic, chaotic, or always rooted in drama. You cannot heal, build, or grow in an environment that constantly drains your spirit. Choose relationships that nourish your soul, that encourage your growth, that honor your boundaries, and that remind you of your worth. Your energy is also affected by what you consume daily. What you watch, read, and listen to either adds to your mental clarity or subtracts from it. If you're constantly exposing yourself to negativity through news, social media, or entertainment, you are programming your mind for fear, anxiety, and comparison. But when you choose uplifting content, empowering messages, and truth that elevates you, you begin to train your mind for strength, resilience, and hope. You are the gatekeeper of your inner world, and every time you choose to consume something, you are either feeding peace or feeding chaos. Be ruthless about protecting your mind. You can't afford to let in anything that weakens your spirit. Protecting your energy also means learning the art of saying no. No to things that drain you. No to people pleasing. No to obligations that no longer serve your highest purpose. Saying no is not rejection. It's redirection. It's how you create space for the yeses that actually matter. When you overcommit, when you spread yourself too thin, when you try to be everything for everyone, you end up being nothing for yourself. Protecting your energy means remembering that your time, focus, and emotional bandwidth are not infinite. You must invest them wisely. You don't owe everyone an explanation. You don't need permission to honor your needs. The more you practice saying no, the more you begin to reclaim your power and live with intention instead of guilt. It's also crucial to protect your energy from your own thoughts. Sometimes the greatest threat to your peace isn't other people. It's the inner dialogue that never stops, the self-criticism, the doubt, the overthinking. You must learn to interrupt those patterns. Speak truth over yourself. Replace negative thoughts with powerful affirmations. Train your mind to focus on gratitude, progress, and possibility instead of fear, regret, or lack. Your energy is deeply influenced by your inner narrative. Guard it fiercely. The stories you tell yourself become your reality. Every day, choose habits that support your energetic well-being. Get enough sleep, move your body, spend time in nature, breathe deeply, take breaks, create a morning routine that grounds you, and an evening routine that restores you. These aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. They help you reset, reconnect, and recharge so you can show up in the world with clarity, strength, and purpose. Your energy is sacred. It's what drives your mission, your creativity, your love, your leadership. And the more you protect it, the more powerful and peaceful your life becomes. Your time is your most precious commodity, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. Every day, you're given a blank slate to decide how you will use the hours that stretch out before you. But most people, without realizing it, waste this precious gift by allowing their time to be consumed by distractions, unnecessary tasks, and activities that don't align with their bigger goals. To truly take control of your life, you must learn how to invest your time, not just spend it. When you manage your time effectively, you manage your life. You create a sense of purpose and direction. You prioritize what matters most, and you have the discipline to stay focused on it. If you're constantly reacting to what's in front of you, if your days are filled with urgent but unimportant tasks, you'll feel scattered, overwhelmed, and frustrated. But when you decide to master time, you decide to master your destiny. One of the first steps in managing your time is understanding what truly deserves your focus. This requires clarity on what matters most to you, your vision, your goals, your values. Once you know what your priorities are, everything else becomes easier to navigate. You can say no to distractions because they no longer align with your mission. You can say yes to things that support your growth. Whether it's reading, learning, working on your craft, or spending quality time with the people who matter. The more clearly defined your priorities are, the more purposeful your actions will be. Time management is not just about fitting more into your day, it's about choosing to focus on what will get you closer to your goals. A critical part of time management is eliminating wasteful habits and activities that drain your energy without bringing value. It's easy to get sucked into the vortex of mindless scrolling, watching random videos, or dealing with tasks that feel urgent but are ultimately unimportant. These small actions add up over time and consume your most valuable resource, time. When you become intentional about where your time goes, you start to notice how much room you actually have to pursue the things that matter. You learn to identify what's truly necessary and what's just filler. By removing the clutter, you make more space for what's truly important. Every minute you waste on trivial activities is a minute you could have spent on building something meaningful. But effective time management doesn't just happen. It requires discipline, structure, and routines. It's not about finding more hours in the day because that's impossible. It's about using the hours you have wisely. Start by creating daily schedules, setting clear goals, and breaking tasks down into manageable steps. When you map out your day with intention, you reduce the chance of procrastination and distraction. You give yourself deadlines and a roadmap for success. You stop relying on motivation to get things done and instead build momentum through consistency. By establishing routines, you remove decision fatigue. You stop thinking about what to do next because it's already decided for you. This allows you to focus on execution, not planning. And as you follow through on your commitments, you build confidence in your ability to manage your time and your life. Another important part of time management is understanding the value of rest and recovery. Many people mistakenly believe that success comes from relentless hustle, that the more you work, the more you achieve. But this approach leads to burnout, exhaustion, and a decrease in productivity. Rest is essential for maintaining mental clarity, creativity, and emotional resilience. Taking breaks allows you to recharge and approach your tasks with a fresh perspective. By creating space for relaxation and recovery, you are investing in your long-term success. Remember, you're not a machine. You need time to reset, reflect, and replenish your energy in order to perform at your highest level. Managing your time also means making conscious decisions about who you spend it with. The people you surround yourself with influence how you spend your time. Are you around individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to be your best? Or are you surrounded by people who drain your energy and distract you from your goals? Time spent with the right people can fuel your ambition and help you grow faster. Time spent with the wrong people can slow you down and keep you stuck. It's important to evaluate your relationships and ask yourself if they align with your aspirations. You deserve to spend your time with people who elevate you, who respect your time, and who encourage your growth. Mastering your time is about taking full responsibility for how you use it. Stop letting life happen to you. Start taking charge of each day, each moment, and each decision. When you treat your time with the respect it deserves, you start to live with intention. You create a life that is in alignment with your deepest desires and greatest potential. Time is the only resource you can't get back, so make every moment count. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. And yet so many people treat their physical health as secondary, something they'll prioritize once everything else is in order. But the truth is, without physical well-being, everything else suffers. Your mental clarity, emotional resilience, creativity, and even your ability to take action all depend on how well you care for your body. Investing in your physical health isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good and being able to perform at your highest potential in every area of your life. When you nurture your body, you're ensuring that you have the energy, stamina, and vitality to pursue your dreams and handle life's challenges with strength. One of the first steps in caring for your body is to make daily physical activity a non-negotiable part of your routine. This doesn't mean you have to commit to hours of intense exercise every day. What matters is consistency and finding a form of movement that works for you. Whether it's a morning walk, a yoga session, strength training, or a sport you enjoy, the key is to make movement a part of your life, not a luxury. Regular physical activity helps maintain a healthy weight, improves your cardiovascular health, strengthens your muscles and bones, and enhances your mood by releasing endorphins. It also increases your energy levels, so you feel more alert and focused throughout the day. When you prioritize movement, you are investing in a body that can keep up with your ambition. Beyond exercise, fueling your body with the right nutrition is essential. The food you consume directly impacts your energy, mood, and overall health. When you eat well, you feel better, physically and mentally. It's not about extreme diets or restricting yourself. It's about making choices that nourish and sustain you. Eating a balanced diet that includes plenty of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats supports optimal bodily functions. The nutrients you take in provide the building blocks for your cells, your immune system, and your brain. When you feed your body with quality food, you give it the fuel it needs to function at its best. You also reduce the risk of illness and chronic conditions that can take you off track. Another critical aspect of physical health is sleep. Rest is often overlooked, but it's one of the most important factors in maintaining overall well-being. Sleep is not a luxury. It's essential for recovery and restoration. During sleep, your body repairs itself, consolidates memories, and processes emotions. Lack of sleep affects your cognitive abilities, increases stress levels, and diminishes your ability to focus. When you don't prioritize sleep, you set yourself up for exhaustion, burnout, and poor decision-making. A consistent sleep routine where you allow yourself enough time to rest and recharge ensures that you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the day ahead. Make sleep a priority just as you would any other important task in your life. Hydration is another often neglected aspect of physical health. The body is made up of around 60% water, and staying properly hydrated is crucial for everything from digestion to brain function. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, poor concentration, headaches, and irritability. Drinking enough water throughout the day keeps your energy levels up, supports your skin's health, and ensures that your body can perform its essential functions effectively. Keep a water bottle with you at all times and make hydration a habit that you incorporate into your daily routine. Taking care of your mental and emotional health directly impacts your physical health. Stress, anxiety, and negative emotions can manifest physically in the form of tension, headaches, digestive issues, and even chronic illness. It's crucial to find healthy ways to manage stress and take care of your emotional well-being. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, deep breathing, journaling, or simply taking time to relax and decompress can help reduce stress levels and promote overall health. When you are mentally and emotionally balanced, your body reflects that state of well-being. Your body is a gift, and when you take the time to nurture it, you unlock your true potential. You create a foundation of energy, strength, and vitality that supports everything you want to achieve. When you feel good physically, you perform better in all areas of your life: work, relationships, and personal growth. By making physical health a priority every day, you not only enhance your quality of life, but also give yourself the best possible chance to succeed in everything you set out to do. Your mind is a powerful tool, one that shapes your reality, directs your actions, and influences every decision you make. And yet most people don't fully understand the immense power they hold in their own minds. The thoughts you think daily create your experiences and determine the trajectory of your life. If you allow your mind to be overtaken by negativity, doubt, and fear, it's no surprise that you end up feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and unsure of your potential. But when you take control of your mind, when you deliberately choose thoughts that empower, uplift, and inspire, you shift the entire course of your life. Harnessing the power of your mind is not just about being positive or ignoring challenges. It's about mastering your thoughts so that you can create the life you truly desire. One of the first steps in mastering your mind is recognizing that you are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go, often without our control or conscious awareness. But just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean you have to attach to it. You can observe your thoughts, question them, and choose whether to believe them or let them go. This distinction is crucial because so many people are controlled by their thoughts, believing that whatever pops into their heads is the truth. In reality, your thoughts are just that, thoughts. They don't define you. You have the power to change them at any moment, and doing so gives you the freedom to create a mindset that serves you. The second step is learning to filter your thoughts. Not all thoughts are worth entertaining. Many of them are automatic, conditioned by past experiences, and rooted in fear, doubt, or insecurity. But you have the ability to challenge these thoughts and replace them with more constructive ones. When a thought arises that doesn't serve you, such as, "I can't do this," or I'm not good enough, you have the power to interrupt it and reframe it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Is it aligned with my goals and the person I want to become? When you practice questioning your thoughts, you start to shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility. Another key to mastering your mind is cultivating a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude has the power to transform your entire perspective. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you train your mind to look for the positive in every situation. Instead of getting bogged down by challenges, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have, you appreciate what you do. Gratitude shifts your energy, making you more resilient, more hopeful, and more capable of handling life's ups and downs. It rewires your brain to see abundance instead of scarcity, to focus on solutions rather than problems. Practicing gratitude daily is one of the most powerful tools for mastering your mind and changing your life. Affirmations are another powerful tool for taking control of your mind. The words you speak to yourself shape your beliefs and influence how you feel about yourself. When you use positive affirmations, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to believe in your own potential. Affirmations like I am worthy of success or I am capable of achieving my goals can help you overcome self-doubt, boost your confidence, and shift your internal dialogue from negative to empowering. The more consistently you speak life-giving words to yourself, the more your beliefs begin to align with those words. Over time, your mindset shifts and you start taking actions that reflect your new beliefs. In addition to affirmations, visualization is another powerful technique for training your mind to achieve success. When you visualize yourself succeeding, whether it's accomplishing a goal, overcoming a challenge, or living the life you desire, your mind begins to create a mental blueprint of that success. This mental rehearsal prepares you to take action with confidence because your mind has already seen you succeed. Visualization activates the same neural pathways as actual experience, which increases your belief in the possibility of achieving your dreams. By regularly visualizing your success, you make it more real in your mind, which increases your motivation and ability to take inspired action. Mastering your mind also requires you to embrace discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you challenge yourself, face your fears, and push through resistance. When you develop the mental strength to embrace discomfort, you become more resilient and capable of handling the obstacles that come your way. Every time you face something difficult, your mind grows stronger, and your belief in your ability to overcome challenges expands. The key is not to avoid discomfort, but to recognize it as a sign that you're on the right path. The more you push through your mental barriers, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving greatness. Your mind is a powerful ally when you learn how to train it. The thoughts you think shape your reality, and by mastering your mind, you can create a life that reflects your true potential. It's not about controlling every thought or never experiencing doubt. It's about learning to manage your mind so that you can choose thoughts that empower, inspire, and drive you forward. When you take control of your mind, you take control of your life, and that is where true transformation begins. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation of everything else in your life. How you see yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you honor your own worth directly impacts every area of your existence. The truth is, if you don't love and respect yourself, it becomes incredibly difficult to create a life that reflects your true potential. Self-love isn't just about indulgence or vanity. It's about deep acceptance and honoring your value as a person. It's about setting boundaries, nurturing your mind and body, and treating yourself with the same care and compassion that you would offer to someone you love. When you prioritize yourself, you send a clear message to the universe that you are worthy of greatness, and you begin to live in alignment with that truth. One of the most important aspects of cultivating self-love is learning to accept yourself fully, flaws and all. So many people spend their lives trying to change themselves or hide parts of who they are out of shame or fear of judgment. But self-love means embracing every part of yourself, even the imperfections. It means accepting that you are human and that mistakes are a part of the process. Perfection is an illusion, and striving for it only creates frustration and disappointment. When you can look in the mirror and say, I am enough, you begin to release the need for external validation and give yourself permission to be who you truly are. This radical acceptance allows you to show up authentically in the world and pursue your goals without the burden of self-doubt. Self-love also means taking the time to nurture and care for yourself. This goes beyond the occasional treat or luxury. It involves daily actions that honor your body, mind, and soul. It means prioritizing your health by eating nutritious foods, staying active, and getting enough rest. It means engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, whether it's pursuing a hobby, spending time in nature, or practicing mindfulness. When you take care of yourself, you build a strong foundation of energy and vitality that supports your ambitions and personal growth. You also develop a deeper sense of gratitude for your body and your life, which further enhances your overall well-being. Another crucial aspect of self-love is setting boundaries. Boundaries are a powerful act of self-respect. They allow you to protect your energy, time, and emotional health. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overwhelmed, stressed, and resentful. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you risk losing yourself in the process. Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about acknowledging that your needs and well-being are just as important as anyone else's. Whether it's saying no to requests that drain you, limiting your exposure to negative influences, or making time for self-care, boundaries help you maintain a sense of balance and protect your peace. When you honor your own boundaries, you teach others to do the same. Self-love also involves being kind to yourself, especially in moments of failure or disappointment. So many people are quick to criticize themselves when things don't go according to plan. They fall into the trap of negative self-talk, berating themselves for not measuring up or not achieving their goals fast enough. But self-love means offering yourself compassion, just as you would to a friend who's going through a tough time. It means recognizing that mistakes are part of the journey and that failure is not a reflection of your worth. Instead of seeing setbacks as a sign of inadequacy, you can view them as opportunities to learn and grow. By treating yourself with kindness during challenging times, you build resilience and self-confidence, which are key ingredients for success. One of the most powerful ways to deepen your relationship with yourself is through self-reflection. Taking time each day or week to reflect on your thoughts, feelings, and experiences helps you gain clarity and insight into who you are and what you want from life. Self-reflection allows you to connect with your inner wisdom and make more conscious choices. It helps you understand your desires, motivations, and fears, giving you the tools to navigate life with greater awareness. When you make self-reflection a regular practice, you cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself, which enhances your ability to make decisions that align with your authentic self. Self-love is also about giving yourself permission to grow and evolve. Often, people hold themselves back because they fear change or feel they are not worthy of the success and happiness they desire. But self-love means believing in your potential and giving yourself the freedom to step into new chapters of your life. It's about trusting that you are capable of growth and transformation, even if it feels uncomfortable at times. When you embrace change and let go of limiting beliefs, you open yourself up to new possibilities and create a life that reflects your true potential. The relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you have. When you love and respect yourself, you attract people who do the same. You stop settling for less than you deserve and begin to surround yourself with individuals who uplift, support, and appreciate you. Your relationship with yourself is the mirror through which you experience the world, and when you nurture it, everything else falls into place. These 12 daily actions are not a checklist. They are a lifestyle. They are the bricks that build confidence, the habits that create unstoppable momentum, the rituals that align you with your purpose. You don't have to do them perfectly. You just have to do them. Show up for yourself every day, even in small ways. That consistency becomes identity, and that identity becomes power. Your future doesn't change in one leap. It changes in the daily decision to choose yourself, to honor yourself, to lead yourself. Start today, not tomorrow, not someday, because the life